Hello students, how are you all? Hope you guys are doing well. Today we will be discussing another chapter from the social studies of the 10th class Karnataka State Board. In that we will be discussing business studies unit 1 banking transactions. So you guys must be knowing what you guys must be hearing what is bank and you must have also visited the bank. But in this chapter, we will be learning in detail the topics like meaning of banks, characteristics of banks. We will also learn bank and post offices and financial transactions and types of bank. Apart from that, we will be learning different accounts that can be opened in a bank and what are those methods to open the accounts in a bank. Also, we will be learning what are the advantages of bank accounts. Okay, so let's start with our session. Banks developed about 200 years ago. So, bank is not a new concept. It is developed around 200 years ago. But now it has evolved. Okay, the nature of banks has changed as the time has changed. The term bank is related to the financial transactions. Banks are the financial institutions which use the money deposited by the customers as investments and agreed to return whenever they require. As we all know, it is the basic function of the bank. So that is, it accepts the deposits from the public and lend it to those who are in need of that in the form of loans. This we all know. Okay. So this is the basic function also which the bank performs. Bank advances loans to the customer and charge interest on them. That means bank gives the loans to the customer who are in need, and upon that they also charge the interest. So bank exchange the money of different countries. Also, bank exchange the uh, money of different countries. Suppose a tourist who has come from the America, so to live here and to purchase the goods and services, he needs Indian rupees. Okay, each and everywhere the we don't have the authority to accept the currency of the another country. If we accept that, it is another procedure which is laid down by the Reserve Bank of India. But to ease the system, banks exchange the money for them. Okay, so the tourists who have came from the America, he gives the dollars to the Indian rupees, and on the basis of the exchange value rate, Indian rupees is provided to that particular tourist. Okay, so the development of any country depends on efficient banking system of the country. Okay, why so? Because we will learn in the next part. Banks advance money to agriculture. Okay, bank advances the money to agriculture, industries, traders, and all other sections of the society, which are the main organs for the development of the country. So these are the main organs for the development of the country. Why they are called as main organs of the country? Because if these sectors called as agriculture, industries, and traders, usually we each and everyone comes under this particular aspect. Some of us are dealing in agriculture. Some of us are in agricultural field. Some of us are working in industries, and some of us are traders. That means they are businessmen. Okay, so if these sectors develop, automatically the country will also get developed. So how these sectors get strengthened, how this sector gets strong when they get enough funds, when they get the enough money to conduct the transactions. So banks are the institutions which supply the money if they are in need of that. Okay, so Now let's come to understand what exactly is the bank. Okay, so the term bank is derived from the Italian word banco and from the French word banque. Both means a bench or money exchange table. Okay, which means, okay, so banco and banque both means a bench or money exchange table. That means a platform where we exchange the money. Okay, so now let's see the definition. A banking company may be defined as a company which transacts the business with finance. So what means a banking company? A banking company may be defined as a company which transacts the business with finance. Okay, it is a company or the institution which transacts the business with finance. That means which deals in money, which deals in finance. That means accepting the money or deposits, then lending the money. So this accepting and depositing is called as transacting with finance. Okay. So it accepts the deposits from the public and lends it to those who need it in the form of loans. It accepts the deposits from the public and it lends the money in the form of loan who are in need of it. Okay. Next, it receives the money from those who want to save their money in the form of deposits and lends it to those who require in the form of loans. Okay. See, it's quite natural. A person who have surplus money, who have extra money, that means after fulfilling his needs, if he have the money remained with him, only then he can deposit in the bank. No one, uh, no one does like that. Okay, Array, I want to deposit the money in the bank. Let's not eat the food today. We want to save the money in the bank. No one does that. After fulfilling the needs and wants, only after that, if a person have the extra money, he lends it to the bank. And then bank uses those money and in the form of loans. That means it gives the loans to some other people who are in need of that. And it also charges the interest on that. Okay. So the services of banks are called as banking. Okay. The services which are provided by the bank is called as banking. We used to, as our the topic suggests, the name of the topic banking. So here we came to know what exactly means the banking. The services which are offered, which are provided, which are given by the bank is called as banking. Okay. We learned about bank. Bank is the institution which accepts the money from the public and lends it to the other people in the form of loans. And what does banking mean? Banking means the services which are provided by the bank is called as banking. Okay, so there is a difference between bank and banking. Bank is the institution, banking is the process of giving or providing the services. Okay, next, a bank repays the deposits in the form of checks, draft, or some other forms. Okay, if as per the terms and agreements, bank repays the deposits after some time, as mentioned in the contract or in the agreement, in the form of checks, in the form of draft, or in the other forms as mentioned in the contract. Okay. Now, moving further, let's discuss the characteristics of banks. So, what are the characteristics of banks? The very first characteristics is dealing with money. This is the first and foremost important characteristic. Okay. Banks are the financial institutions which deal with money of the public. That means banks are the institutions which accept the deposit as we have discussed and it lends the money to the other people who are in need of it. So this itself is called dealing or transacting. Okay. Next characteristic is individual, firm, or a company. Bank may be a person, firm, or a company. A banking company means the institution that deals with the money. Okay. So a bank can be a person, it can be a firm, or it can be a company. Okay, that so this will get defined under the Banking Regulations Act. When a bank is called as an individual, when bank is called as firm, when bank is called as company. So according to the provisions of that, how in the manner in which it got registered, that specifies whether a bank is individual, whether a bank is in a firm, whether a bank is in company. Okay. Next, acceptance of deposits. Bank accepts the deposits from the public. These deposits are returned whenever the customers demand it or after a prescribed period. Banks provide security to these deposits, and bank acts as a custodians of the deposits of the public. So here we got the word called custodians. Custodians means caretaker. So banks act as a caretaker of the deposits of the public. It takes care of your money. Okay. So what in this point I have told, these deposits are returned whenever customers demand it or after a specific prescribed period. That means whenever customers demand means in savings account there is no restriction that at that we cannot withdraw our money. But in a recurring deposit, that means the other types of account that is in recurring deposit and term deposit account. These are the types of accounts which you will be learning in the next part of this session. But for your understanding, keep in mind that there are several types of accounts. Okay, there are several types of accounts called savings bank account, current account, recurring deposit account, and term or fixed deposit account. Under savings account and current account, there is no restriction. One can, any a time can withdraw the amount. But in recurring deposit, that is RD, and term fixed deposits, that is FD. In these two types of accounts, there is a limit or there is, we can say that there is a limitation that we cannot withdraw our money whenever we want. It allows us to withdraw the money only when the time period gets matured, only when that agreement gets matured. At the end of that, we can withdraw. Any other time we cannot withdraw. There are procedures to withdraw it, but they won't give you the interest and all. They will give you the money, or sometimes they may uh, penalize you for it. Okay, but in current account and savings account, they don't put any limitation. So that's why they have used the word whenever the customers demand or after a prescribed period means prescribed period that comes under the purview of this fixed deposit and RD deposit. There are agreements that after 5 years we will return this money, after 2 years we will return this money. Okay, so yeah, and another point I have to add, whenever demand, a point has came here, whenever the customers demand. So whenever the customer, suppose a customer comes and he wants to withdraw all of his money in savings account, suppose he have the his 1 lakh rupees in his account and he wants to withdraw all of it. What if the bank doesn't got many of the deposits on that day? The main source of the for the banks to get money is deposits from the public. What if on that particular day bank does not get these deposits? That's why RBI has mandated certain rules. Okay, that is, RBI has given us two, two ratios. First is called SLR. Second is called CRR. What is SLR and CRR? SLR is statutory liquidity ratio. What does that mean? It is the reserve requirement that commercial banks are required to maintain in the form of cash, gold reserves, government bonds, etc. Okay, so all the commercial banks has to maintain these things in the maintain the cash, gold reserves, and government bonds of this much worth. So whenever a customer demands, they can write off these. They can write off these gold reserves and gold government bonds, and can pay back money to the customer who had demanded. What CRR means? It is the percentage of bank total deposits that it needs to maintain as a liquid cash. So CRR is cash reserve ratio. That means out of the total deposits a bank collects on a particular day, it has to maintain certain percentage. There is a percentage like 2.4, 3.5. This is the ratio. So on the basis of that, a certain set of money they have to maintain in the liquid cash. That means in the cash form, they has to maintain in their branch, so that whenever a customer demands the money, they can give it to them. Okay. Next, lending loans. Banks advances loans to industrial sector, agricultural sector, education sector, construction sector, and other sectors. So bank lends the loan to these many sectors: industrial, agriculture, education, to develop and to grow. Okay. Next is payment and withdrawal. Bank facilitate the customers to withdraw their deposits in the form of checks or drafts. As I have discussed, customers can withdraw their money in the form of cash, also in the form of checks, also in the form of drafts also. Okay. Next, agency and utility services. So bank provide various banking facilities to its customers. They include general utility services and agency services. So banks provide us the certain services. They are categorized into two different parts. First is general utility services. Second one is agency services. So what are the general utility services? Which are those services which are called as general utility? First is issuing debit cards and credit cards, providing locker facility, accepting the bills, issuing trade information, etc. So these are the general utility services. In that, first point is issuing debit cards and credit cards. That what are debit cards and what are credit cards. Debit card means on the spot the money gets uh, withdrawn from your account, and on credit cards they give you a certain credit period. That means after purchasing the goods, within few days you can pay the bill. Okay. Next is providing locker facility. In banks, they provide you the lockers where you can keep your valuables like gold ornaments, bonds, important documents, where you can keep it there. Next is accepting the bills. What is that? Accepting the bills means, suppose uh, I am the seller and I have sold goods to another person. Okay. I have sold the goods to another person on credit. But now I'm in need of money, and I don't have the time to collect the money from that person. Okay. So what banks does is, bank accepts that bill from us, it pays the money to us, and it collects the money from that particular customer. Okay. That comes the discounting. Okay. That comes in discounting the bills. Okay. It suppose I have sold the goods for rupees 10,000 to another person on credit, but I want the money on urgent basis, so I go to the bank and ask them to discount the bill. So bank gives me the 9,000. 1,000 it keeps it themselves, as a charge, or they also need something. Okay. They are not there to do the charitable work, they also need something in return, so it keeps with them. So I also accept that thing. Okay, I get the money whenever I want. So I accept the less amount. You know, I used to think that okay, some of my profit margin get lost, but I get my money and bank accepts the money from that particular customer. So it's up to now. Now it is up to the bank and that customer. Our work is got done. Next is issuing trade information. That means if we are conducting the business, suppose in other country, suppose we are conducting the business in America, so bank gives us the information about that particular country. Suppose we are doing business in the American city of Chicago, and if there is any a particular person who is a customer of our bank, they gives us the information about that yes, his credit paying ability is good. We can export into the in that country, so it gives us the like this type trade information. Next is agency utility services. Okay, so what are agency utility services? Collection of checks, bills, etc. on behalf of their customers. Okay, then is payment of interest, loans, insurance premium, etc. Suppose I have taken the loan from XYZ person, and if I instruct the bank on my instruction, whenever there is a due date, bank automatically deducts the particular money from our account and repays the loans on behalf of us. Suppose we are not in that particular city on the due date, so bank repays our loan. And also insurance premium on monthly basis, we pay the insurance. If we instruct the bank on behalf of us makes the payment of insurance premium. Okay. See, if we are dealing in our business, suppose the person is working in its industry, person is working in a company, we don't have time, we don't remember that, oh, on this particular day we has to go to the bank, again we has to fill the, we has to fill the form, we has to go to insurance company, we has to pay the insurance premium. So what bank does is it automatically deducts the money on that particular day when insurance premium is due, and it makes the payment on behalf of us. Next, purchase and sale of foreign exchange. What banks does it on behalf of us. Suppose if we are sending a good, then a payment comes in. So if we have sold the goods to the American customer, he makes the payment in the form of dollars. What is use of dollars to me? I need the Indian money. So it exchanges that money in the form of rupees and it gives to me. Next agency service provided by bank is purchase and sale of securities. If we instruct the bank on our instructions, bank purchase and sale the securities. That securities means the shares, okay? The shares on our instructions. We suppose we are busy and we need someone to do this purchase and sale work of securities on behalf of, we can instruct our bank. So automatically, if we want to purchase a security, it deducts from our account and it purchases the security on behalf of us. And if we want to sell, the sale amount gets included in our account and our work is also get done. So in this way, it provides us the various general utility and special utility services. Next is profit orientation. Okay, next characteristic is profit orientation. A bank is a profit-seeking institution having service-oriented approach. Okay, so what type of bank is it? Is a profit-seeking orientation. They need to do the profits. Nobody is here to do the charitable work. And how it is And what is its approach? Its approach is service oriented. That means what work it does. It gives us the services as we have discussed. It provides general utility services, special utility services, accepting the deposits, lending the deposits. So what are all these? These are all services. So what is the approach of the bank? What is the work of the bank? Providing us the services. Okay. Next, ever increasing functions. Bank continuously expand and diversify their functions, services, and activities. As we have known earlier, bank does only the accepting the deposits and lending the deposits. But nowadays, as we have seen, it accepts the bills, it discounts the bills, it provides us trade information, it provides us the financial information, it provides us the mutual fund services also, it provides us debit cards, credit cards, locker facility. So it is day by day, it is expanding its functions and services. Next, connecting link. Connecting link. Bank acts as a connecting link between the depositors and borrowers. Okay. It acts as an intermediator. We can take it as intermediate between depositors and borrowers. It accepts the deposits from us and it lends to those who are in need of it. It acts as a mediator. Okay. Banks collect surplus money of the customers and lend it to the same to those who are in need of money. Next, banking business. The main activity of the bank is banking business, that is accepting the deposits from the customers and lending the same to those who are in need of money. It is not a subsidiary to any other business. Okay. Main function of the bank is accepting deposits and lending money. Okay. That is it. What they want to convey from this point. Next is name identity. Bank always add bank to their name. Okay, we have seen they always add banks to their name, like Canara Bank, Vijaya Bank, Corporation Bank, State Bank of India, State Bank of Mysore, etc. It enables the customer to know in which bank they are dealing with money. Okay, that means if we know the name, then only we can come to a conclusion now that okay, this is the bank in which we are investing our money. If there is any particular name or if there is only the name called Baroda, what Baroda is it a person, is it a firm, is it a company, how what we can understand from it. But when it adds the name called Bank of Baroda, okay, then we come to know that oh, it is a financial institution to which we are giving the money. Okay, so additional information they have given here is um now all the state banks are merged with State Bank of India. This is the additional information. So earlier we have several state banks called the State Bank of Bikaner and Jaipur, State Bank of Hyderabad, State Bank of Mysore, State Bank of Patiala, and State Bank of Travancore. So these are all the banks which now are merged with the State Bank of India. Okay. Next, now we will be discussing the functions of banks. First function is accepting deposits. Bank accepts the deposit from the public and others. Okay, we know it accepts the deposits and lend. Next is lending money to the public and other institutions. Next, after accepting it, what it does, it lends the money to the public in the form of loans and to other institutions. Okay, like it lends the money to the several other companies, who want to start their business, startups. To them also, it lends the money. Next is transferring money. Transferring money from one place to another. What it does, it transfers the money on demand. Suppose you want to transfer, we does this nowadays. This is very frequent thing on the UPIs, like on phone pay through the help of Google Pay. We transfer money by sitting in Bijapur. We can transfer the money to a person who is residing in Mumbai, Delhi. Okay, it transfers the money upon upon our request. Then it collects the money, collecting money on checks, drafts, and bills. When we provide the check in the bank, automatically that sum of money gets included in our bank account. So in similar way, it accepts the bill. The bill concept I have explained to you earlier. Then discounting of bills, that also I have explained you in the earlier part of this. Next function is conducting. Next is higher safe deposit lockers, providing us the safe lockers where there is no risk of theft and all these things. Conducting foreign exchange transaction, that also I have told. I have explained in the earlier part. Next is keeping valuables in the safe custody. In safe custody, that is the jewelry, the important documents. It provides us the lockers where we can keep it. Next is issuing letters of credit and letters of guarantee. Okay, so what is letter of credit? A letter of credit is issued by a bank to another bank, especially one in a different country, to serve as a guarantee for payments made to a specified person under specified conditions. Okay, it means on behalf of us, it instructs the seller's bank that this particular person is our customer, and so is the creditability of our customer, and he will definitely pay you the sum assured. Then guarantee, letter of guarantee is it guarantees that if the particular our customer doesn't pay you the money, we will pay on behalf of our customer. So that is difference between letter of credit and guarantee. Next is conducting government transaction. That means as and when told by the government, that is by state government or the central government, they conduct the transactions. Now, the best example of it is the this thing ban of 500 notes and 1000 notes, note bandi, at that time the government has instructed the banks to collect the old 500 and 1000 notes. So this is the best example of conducting government transactions. As and when instructed by the government, the banks have to perform these functions. Guys, this was it for today's session. In the next session, we will be discussing the next part of the this lesson. That is the bank and post offices and financial transaction types of banks, different accounts, methods to open, and advantages of bank accounts. So all these things will be discussed in the next session. Hope you like this session. If you have any doubt, do let me know in the comments section. I will be very happy to clear all your doubts. And if there is any feedback, do mention it in the comment section. I will work on it and try to develop. Also, please be connected in the description section of this video, because I will be updating the links there. Okay, I will be updating the links of the previous session. I will be updating links of the upcoming sessions. So please be updated in the description section of the video. Thank you for listening to me. Bye bye. Take care.